Hey G Nation, it's your favorite nurse Jasmine, and I'm back today with another video. So today's video is going to answer a highly asked question here on my channel. So a lot of you guys want to know, how did I pay for nursing school? Like, did I pay for it out of pocket? Did my family give me money to do it? Was I given scholarships? As well as how am I paying for grad school? Like, I know college is so expensive, and it's only getting more and more expensive as the years go on. So I am going to share with you guys everything that I did, why I did what I did, as well as my plans for the future. So if you are interested in this video, continue to watch. Okay, so before I say this and you guys freak out and click out of the video, just watch the entire video to hear where I'm coming from. So yes, I took out student loans to pay for nursing school as well as to pay for grad school. I know. Calm down. Relax. Don't click out the video. I know a lot of you guys compare student loans to like hearing somebody cuss in church. Like, it is so, she got a loan. Like, yes, I did, and I am very comfortable with my decision, and I'm going to explain to you guys why. So basically, when I came fresh out of high school, I did not plan on going to college. My plans were to go into the military, but I had a son at a very young age, and that changed a lot of stuff for me. So with that being said, I did a 7-month medical assistant course, and it allowed me to sit for my phlebotomy certification. So I had 2 certifications that cost me a grand total of $3 grand. Medical assistants really don't make a lot of money, especially to sustain a household for 3 when you're very, very young. Yes, my husband was in the military at the time as well, but he was very low ranking and we wasn't getting a lot of money. Throughout the years, I realized that medical assistant just was not paying me enough money. We ended up having a second kid, and daycare was so expensive that like more than half of my check was going towards my son's daycare, and it honestly was not worth even working to pay for someone else to watch my kids. So at the time, me and my husband made the decision that I was just going to stop working and I was actually going to go to school full time, and that's what we did. Was we struggling? Yes. I mean, oh my God, we struggled so much, and these were just all of my prereqs. So these were all of my, you got to take all of these classes before you can even apply to nursing school. So we were still struggling, but you know, we made it work. We lived well within our means. So once I was done with all of my prereqs, I got accepted into a nursing school, and I actually applied to 2. I applied to a community college as well as a private 2-year college. Of course, the community college was way cheaper than what the private school was, and I made the decision to take out a loan and actually go with the private school, which was more expensive than the community college, but everything was so structured. It was like the best curriculum wise, and the clinical hours that were required, as well as their NCLEX pass rate, their first time NCLEX pass rate was the highest in San Antonio as well. So I made the decision to take out a student loan to go to this more expensive school, but I knew that the education that I was going to get was going to be well worth it. So the reason why I took out a student loan is, for one, I did not have the money to pay for it out of pocket. Regardless if I worked full-time, there's no way I could have worked full-time, successfully passed the nursing program, and pay off the entire price of the school. There just was no way that I can do that. And I do not come from a family with money, as well as I am the first one in my mom's side of the family who even has her bachelor's degree. So there was no way my mom could just fork over the money, or anybody in my family could just fork over the money and pay for my nursing school. It wasn't. And I made the decision, like, okay, yes, I'm going to have a student loan, but it is actually going to be more beneficial in the long run. Take out this student loan, and then I'm going to make a lot more money, and my family is going to be a lot more stable in the future. So if you're going to do a student loan, don't take out everything they offer you, because most of the time they will offer you more money than what is required for the school, and people will use it for like transportation, books, and food, and all that other stuff, which is perfectly fine. But if you don't need it, don't do it. I was able to rent a lot of my books off of Chegg, and I could do that off of my husband's income alone. We could get groceries and pay our car notes and all that other stuff based off of his income alone. So all that extra money I did not accept. If it was Pell Grant money, that is money that is granted to me based off of our income and how many people live in my home. That's my money. I kept that, but the extra loan money I did not accept. Okay, you don't have to accept everything that is offered to you. At the end of the day, you have to weigh out the pros and the cons of the student loan debt. Will your job, once you're finished with school, give you way more money than what your student loan debt is in a year? If so, do it. Like, my student loan is not even half of what I make in a year. So I was perfectly fine with taking out a student loan. There's so much negative connotation associated with student loan debt, and I get it, but if you're gonna do it the right way. Once I got my ADN, I decided to go back for my BSN, and the BSN program at UTA, which I highly recommend for anyone who is an ADN student and you're looking to do your BSN. It is an amazing program, and it is a total of $9 grand. So then after I received my BSN, I decided to apply and see if I could get accepted into an FNP program. I applied to one school, into one program, and just on a whim I was accepted, and I'm very blessed and very thankful that I was accepted. But grad school is very expensive. My total for grad school is going to be somewhere around 35 to 40 grand once I am done with the entire program. And I don't have 40 grand sitting in a savings account to give to school, okay? And if you do, then that is amazing, and it is wonderful that you can go back to school and pay it all cash. But I don't have the cash to just give that to any school, and my family, once again, just does not have the money to give me 40 grand and say, here, this 40 grand is for your master's. And even if they were, I still, at this point in my life, probably wouldn't even ask for the 40 grand, let's be honest, because that's just not who I am. But if your family comes from a lot of money and they give you credit cards to just go spend, swipe, and do what you want, then by all means, I mean, have at it. But a lot of us, it's just not feasible. The money that I am going to be making once I am finished with my master's is way more than what my student loan debt is going to be. And I feel like the pros outweigh the cons if I was not to at least try. So taking out student loans, I am comfortable with doing that. But I also have the mentality of how I'm going to pay it back, and we're going to discuss that now. So I know a lot of you guys are like, well, you working for a hospital, why don't they pay for you to go get your master's? So most hospitals, if you are stable in one location, they will do tuition assistance, or they will pay for your entire tuition as long as you promise them that you will work for them for a certain amount of years. So it's kind of like a contract. I am someone who is not fortunate enough to qualify for that because my husband is still in the military. We have a lot of years left. Well, we have like 6 years left in the military, but that is at least 2 more duty stations. So I can't promise a hospital that I'll work for them for any amount of years, because I can move anywhere from 16 months to 4 years in a duty station. So if they were to pay for my entire master's program and I leave, I still have to pay the hospital back that money either way it goes. And like I said, I don't got 40 grand in cash to give to nobody. That's when you start looking for different incentives. One thing that I have found that the hospital I currently work in, they do tuition reimbursement. So tuition reimbursement is different from tuition assistance. So what tuition reimbursement does is, for every year that you work for the hospital and you provide them proof that you do have student loans that are in good standing, that you have been making payments on, they will give you a certain amount of money towards those loans every year. So I'm not going to tell you guys what the price is, but it's not going to pay off all of my student loans. But you can do it for up to 4 years. If I'm here for 4 years, I get that large lump sum of money every single year for up to 4 years. If I'm not, I can get it for a year, I can get it for 2 years, I can get it for 3 years, just depending on how long I live here. But I have to work a year before I am eligible for that money. Even though I am in school, or I'll be starting school next month, and my student loans are in deferment, and I am still collecting interest. So what do? I still make a payment every single month. I'm not obligated to do it, but I still make a payment. Well, I actually make a payment every 2 weeks. Every single time I get paid, I make a payment into my student loan, so that way I'm just not getting more and more and more interest built on, and I'm not making any payments. So make sure that even though you don't have to make payments, that you're still making payments. Okay, so I know scholarships is a big question, and a lot of you guys are like, why don't you do scholarships? So when I was actually in nursing school, I applied for so many scholarships, well over 20 scholarships, and I was awarded 0. And that's life. I mean, I wasn't butthurt about it. Like, I was a little like, dang, like all these scholarships and I didn't even get like a $500 one. Like, it's just, there's a lot of applicants out there. The nursing community is just growing and growing and growing, and you're in competition with a lot of people. And if there was over 1,000 people that applied for one scholarships, it's very hard for them to pick Jasmine out of 1,000 people. So I still attempted to apply for a lot of scholarships. I just wasn't awarded any, and I am not embarrassed to share that with you guys. And I will tell you, apply to as many scholarships as you're qualified for. And if you get awarded them, be very thankful, because there's a lot of people that don't, and I am one of them. I just wasn't awarded any scholarships. So I have been looking at a lot of scholarships targeted towards nurse practitioners, targeted towards grad students, and a lot of them actually require you to already have a GPA, which means you already have to have like a semester in. I haven't even started yet, so a lot of them I can't even apply to until spring of 2019. There's a list of scholarships that I have written down and that I meet the requirements for, so once they open up again, I will be applying to them. Hopefully somebody selects me, and if they don't, it's okay. When it comes to the future, how I plan on paying off my student loans is I will continue to make payments. So there is a public service loan forgiveness program that I'm pretty sure most of you are aware of if you're already in the medical field. And basically what it is if you make a certain amount of payments, which I believe is 120 payments consecutively, on time, never late, which is 10 years, then they will pay off the remainder of your loans, as long as you work in a public service area, meaning like an underserved area, a military area. I'm always in a military area, so it's not very hard to find those jobs. There's also another option, which is you can join the military. And I know you guys are like, the military, but they do give large incentives, and most of the time they will pay off all of your student loans if you join the military, whether it is reserve or active. And yeah, that is something that is also on my possibility list if I was to join the reserves as a military officer, because I'm not going enlisted, but as an officer. And I would still be able to work as a civilian, which I will still be able to work a regular nurse practitioner job, and then 1 weekend a month I will be working for the military. That is a possibility. It is not a for certain, but it is something that I am considering, and I do have quite a few years to actually sit and think about it. So what I want to leave you guys with is, never let what other people think or what other people tell you about student loans keep you from going to school and keep you from taking out a student loan, simply because I would prefer to have an amazing career that I actually enjoy going to work and I love doing my job and I get paid a lot of money to do it, versus working 2 minimum wage jobs hoping that I can find a career and something that makes me a lot of money quick, and to do quick get rich quick schemes or participate in all of these scams to try to get a lot of money, or you know, even rely on YouTube to become super big, and then, you know, who knows where YouTube will be in 10 years. That is just me personally. I'm not knocking anybody who does it, and I'm not saying that everybody needs to go to college, because college isn't for everybody, and I completely understand that. And you can become a millionaire without having a college degree and without having a high school degree. But I'm just saying, if there is something that you are truly passionate about, whether it is becoming a doctor, a nurse, a lawyer, an accounting, whatever it is, and it requires you to go to school just because you're not a CEO or a self-made boss or entrepreneur, that life is not for everybody. So do what you want to do. Stop letting social media dictate your life. Stop letting social media tell you what you should and should not do, and that you should own your own. Like, if you do want to own your own, that is perfectly fine, and I'm rooting for you. I'm in your corner to do great. But if whatever you want to do requires you to go to college and you just don't have the funds to, don't automatically knock student loans out as an option. Okay, a lot of us are not fortunate enough to just have somebody throw a lot of money at us for us to complete our education, or we wake up one day and we have over 5 million followers on YouTube and we're getting paid millions of dollars a year. Everybody is not fortunate enough for that, and it is okay. So that basically sums up my video. I know it is super long and drawn out, and I apologize, but I just wanted to make sure I touch base on everything to let you guys know where I'm coming from and why I made the decision to take out student loans to further my education. And you know, I'm over here, I'm good. I'm good. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and make sure that you hit the subscribe button to join G Nation. It's absolutely free, as well as turn on that notification bell so YouTube will let you know every single time I upload a video. And make sure to follow me on Snapchat and IG. And until the next video, I'll talk to all of you hunts later. Bye. Mwah.
Dash a digi, the schedule busy. My head in a hoodie, my shorty a goodie. My cousins are crazy, my cousins like Boogie. Life is amazing, it is what it should.